Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' UP demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made this little Mother's Day card. Now on this one I used a couple of old retired pieces. This washi tape I'm pretty sure is retired, as is this Mother's Day stamp. So I'm going to be using some stamps out of our current material and current washi tape when I make this. So what we need is, we need a white, whisper white base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then we need 2 layering pieces in Daffodil Delight, 3/8 by 4 1/8, and so there's 2 pieces like that. Then I have another piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 5. That's for the inside of the card. Then we need a piece of black that measures 3 by 3 3/4, and a piece of white that measures 3 by 2 3/4. Then we need a piece of, I used Cucumber Crush, a scrap of Daffodil Delight, and a scrap of Watermelon Wonder for making the pieces to our flower. So those are the pieces that we're going to need. The other things that I used was, I used the that's the tag stamp set, and I used these little flowers to make the florals on the inside of the card. Then I used the Timeless Tags Thinlits Dies, and I used this daisy die here, and I used in the sentiment, I used Just For You for So In Love, and then I used Happy Mother's Day from Teeny Tiny Wishes, which is here, so that I could have put a different kind of stamp up there. Okay, I think that gets to all of the pieces that we're going to need. And what I did was I laid down this die on my black piece that's 3 by 3 3/4 and ran it through the Big Shot. When you're done, you end up with a piece like this, and in this case the center falls right out. We need to keep this piece and use my die brush to get out the petals here, just to run this across the die, and most of my petals came right out and the outline comes out, and that's the piece that we need. Now, in order to do this, you have to run, if you're going to piece use paper piecing to put the pieces back in here and glue them down to get this effect, then you're going to have to run through this die on your Watermelon Wonder piece and pull out all of the petals. And let's see, I think I was using just a little bit of the Daffodil Delight to get out the centerpiece, and then I used the Garden Green to get out the leaf pieces at the bottom. And so there is a little bit of die cutting, so it's a little bit of a fussy card from that standpoint. And what I did was, I did this. I ran through, this is for an upcoming class that I'm having, I ran through all of the pieces that I would need, and there's enough pieces for everybody to make 2 of these cards if they want a paper piece. There's also an option, and I'll show you one before we're done, where I didn't paper piece, what I used was my markers and watercolor pencils and colored in these pieces, and that makes this a lot simpler because there's not nearly so many fussy pieces to put together. But I'm going to show you the paper piercing, and then I will show you, the piecing, and then I'll show you the watercolor one, and you can make up your own mind what you think. Let's see if I can tell here. Yeah, I think I need to go that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of white and just put some glue on it and back it to the back of this piece. All right, there we go. Now I can set this die aside and go ahead and put this piece. Now, in order to put this piece in place, what I'm going to do is use some Tombow on a little piece of scratch paper here, and I'll use my sponge, and I've just got my sponge in a plastic bag because it's got glue on it. And let's see, I'll need a silicone mat for this. So I'm going to set my silicone mat down and set this on the back side and get some glue on my sponge. And like I've said before, one of the most important things is to hold your piece down tight so that you don't move it and get Tombow glue on the front side of this. So once you've got it done, you can pick it up, and in this case, I don't have my tweezers right here, so I am just going to put this in place here and glue that down. And there we have our piece all glued down in place. And actually, if you were doing a black and white card, that would be pretty just the way it is. And I'll show you the one that I did using the markers and the watercolor. It's this one, and you can see the little lines there if you look carefully. I used the watercolor pencil for the yellow, and I think I used garden green for the leaves, and then the Watermelon Wonder. And that actually is pretty nice just the way it is. The paper piecing, I think, looks a little bit better, more consistent. And what I've done is I have set out ahead of time these pieces to make sure that I had the pieces that I needed to go in my piece. And I'm going to set up that silicone mat again with a little bit of Tombow, and I am going to just drag these pieces across the Tombow to get it in the right places. And I'm going to use a set of tweezers here. These pieces are just placed in here, they're not glued down, so I know I have exactly the right ones. And so I'm going to add a little bit of Tombow here, and see if I can't use my tweezers to get a little bit of Tombow on the back. Then I am going to put those pieces in place, and as I go around here, I'm going to, and I can tell you, if you cut out a lot of these pieces, this is a really good idea because it gets real frustrating when you can't figure out which one is going where and you've got a little bit of glue on the back of some of these already. So it made a big difference in my level of frustration. And this is a little messy, and I'm going to try another little trick here. Let me get the next piece out. This one's fairly small, so if this works with this, it'll work with any of them. And that is to hold one edge with my tweezers and then use this to put a little bit of Tombow on the back, and then put this piece in place. And that is a little better, I think. So I will continue on around here. I'll turn off the sound and speed it up so that you can not have to painfully watch me put each of these pieces into place. The last piece, and you can see that it is a little bit fiddly to do, but I don't know. What do you think? I think it's worth it. It's really a pretty treatment of this, and it does take a little bit of doing to get it done. So maybe you would paper piece for somebody who's very special and use the markers for more of an everyday or a thank you card or something like that. So I'm just going to keep this template so that people can set out their setup and make sure that they've got everything that they're supposed to have. So beyond that, what we're going to be doing is spending some time, just a little bit. I didn't raise this on dimensionals, and I'm not going to, I don't think, because I've got the washi tape here, and I want that washi tape to just go across there evenly. So, and I placed this just with kind of an even border all the way around. And so I left room for my stamps. So I have our archival black ink here, and I have this first one, which is Just for You. And let me make sure that that stamps the way I want it to. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put Just for You here at the top, And then I'm going to take my teeny tiny wishes that says Happy Mother's Day right underneath it. There we go. And then this washi tape is, I know this one is live in the catalog. It's part of the Pop of Pink in the Occasions catalog. And I've got a little tiny smudge down here. Let's see if I can get that to erase at all. Not really. Okay, so this is a perfect opportunity to make sure that my washi tape that goes across here covers that piece. And all I've done with this is take the washi tape and cut it off so that there's a couple of tails here, and set it so that it's straight and curls around the back. And so there we have the, let's see, that still doesn't look quite straight to me. There, I think that's a little bit better. All right, so that is the front of our card done. And so I will add this to the front with a little bit of snail. And it's got a pretty tiny border around it, but I was interested in having the flower and the yellow be the primary focus. All right, for the inside, I have this piece. Okay, so this stamp is, and it's from this little piece right here. So what I did was I used my archival black ink, and I just put 3 little sprays down here in the corner. There we go. And put some snail on this. And get that put on this piece of yellow. There we go. And I did still get a smudge there. This is a little sanding block like your nail tech might use at the nail shop. And particularly on white, what I found is that you can virtually sand off an ink smudge. Using the sanding block, and there you have it. It's taken it off in both of those places. And so now I'm going to put some snail on the back of this one. Oh dear, out of snail. Let's see, this one has a little bit in it. And get that put into place. And there we have the inside of our card done. And that is the project for today. And like I said, this would be a fun, easy one to mix up your colors and to do this in a couple of different ink flower colors, and any kind of black washi tape I think will work for this. So you'll have to let me know what you think about that versus the piece that was colored in with a marker. And you saw how long it took to paper piece, so you can make up your own mind which you're willing to do. And actually, I think both of them are very attractive. So thanks so much for stopping by and watching my YouTube channel today. You can purchase anything from this set here on my website, www.lbedinger.stampinup.net. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. With the Stampin' Up! $99 to join, and you get $125 worth of product. And then you also get $40 worth of product from me for joining my team. So you can get $165 worth of product for $99 if you join with me, and you can earn some discounts on your supplies and or start a little business for yourself. So again, thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel and you'll get notified every time I put up a new video. And until next time, bye.